Yo, what is up, guys? DL Boy here. So, as far as I'm concerned, Manny Pacquiao still isn't getting the credit he deserved for whooping Thurman back in July. Ultimately, Manny Pacquiao is a 40-year-old welterweight who is fighting way above his natural weight class and who is way past his best, and yet still he's picking up more impressive wins than welterweights active right now who are in their primes. And yet this guy still doesn't get the respect he deserves. I'll tell you what, name me a better win on Errol Spence's resume than Thurman. You can't do it. Name me a better win on Terence Crawford's resume than Thurman. Again, it's hard to do. Same with Sean Porter. A 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao has arguably just picked up a win that is more impressive than anything on these guys' resumes. That just goes to show the standards Manny Pacquiao is operating at still at 40 years old, and it just reiterates the standard he's kept throughout his whole career. He's always took on challenges and wanted to fight the best, despite being disrespected by certain boxing fans. Guys like Manny Pacquiao, let's be honest about it, have to do a hell of a lot more to get credit in Western media. And that's not just the US, that's the UK too. The UK is just as guilty of overrating their home fighters and not giving credit to foreign fighters. We over here, and you guys in the States, we hold these guys to far too great expectations. These guys have to do double the work to get the same credit as our fighters. Look at Errol Spence, for example. The amount of people I've seen placing this guy over Alexander Usyk in pound-for-pound lists is astounding as far as I'm concerned. The resumes aren't really close. Usyk's resume is far better than Errol Spence Jr.'s, and from watching a lot of fights with both fighters, for me, Alexander Usyk has showcased a wider range of skills in comparison to Errol Spence. I believe Errol Spence is the goods. I believe he's a tremendous fighter and a guy who is potentially a top pound-for-pound level fighter in the future. But right now, he's not done enough as far as I'm concerned. Certainly not enough to be placed above a guy like Alexander Usyk. I could see Errol Spence just about squeezing into the top 10, but even that's a stretch as far as I'm concerned. If we really analyse the guy's resume, he's got a couple of good wins, don't get me wrong. I liked the Kell Brook win, but it was still Kell Brook coming off a loss and not at his optimum condition. He's also beat a fat lightweight. That's really it. And I've seen this guy as high as number 3, pound for pound. That's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. It just highlights the standards Western fighters are held to. Low standards in comparison to foreign fighters. And again, I'm not digging out the Americans. The UK media and fans are just as guilty. For me, the UK and US go hand in hand in regards to boxing media. And also the fan bases. The fan bases on both sides of the pond are very militant. I can give you another example. Look at Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia in comparison to Vasily Lomachenko versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. Errol Spence got all the credit in the world for basically fighting a fat lightweight, despite nobody really picking Mikey going into that fight. Let's look at Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux. Again, 2 weight classes between the two guys, but a lot more people were picking Rigondeaux to beat Lomachenko than they were picking Mikey to beat Errol Spence. Yet Lomachenko doesn't get anywhere near the same credit Spence gets for beating Mikey Garcia, despite Rigondeaux being higher on a pound-for-pound list at the time in comparison to Mikey Garcia the time he fought Errol Spence. The same scenarios don't equate the same praise or criticism, is what I'm trying to get at. And it's obvious the standards for foreign fighters in the West is so much higher, and that has been demonstrated time and time again. We can go back to the Manny Pacquiao example if you like. Let's say Errol Spence was the guy to pop Thurman's cherry and take that unbeaten record. I can almost guarantee you would see Errol Spence as high as top 3 pound for pound just based on that win. I've not seen Manny Pacquiao get that type of credit, despite being 40, despite being way past his best, despite being undersized in a weight class that's well above his natural weight. I've not seen Manny Pacquiao get that type of credit. Errol Spence would have been pushed right up there if he beat Keith Thurman, and you guys know that's true. All the guys who are upset with this video, you guys know that's true. Don't play dumb. You know it's true. You know these Western fighters don't have to adhere to the same standards as foreign fighters. And for me, it's clearly obvious and as plain as day. I guess it's my opinion, but I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts. Share your thoughts below. Peace.